Yeah, Sienna. So basically, what do you mean by errors? And generally, so whenever we are doing any program, we may get some sort of errors, right? So generally, we will get errors in the program because of some mistake, whether we may did or whether the input what we given, if it is wrong, or if sometimes system also not processing the logic properly. So due to some reason, we may get errors in the programs what we are writing in generally. Okay. So these errors are categorized into two types generally. One is syntax errors, okay. One is syntax errors, and the second one is logical errors, okay. So logical errors. And syntax errors means while you are typing, you may get some sort of issues like it's purely our mistake, or I can say that the developer mistake. So while you are typing your code, you may did some kind of spelling mistakes, or if you're not giving properly spaces, or if you're not giving properly the what you call this structure. I mean to say space. I mean what you can say that. Properly alignment, I can say that. So such kind of all errors we call syntax errors generally. So the best example is spelling mistakes, okay, and also like spaces. So these are all uh, brackets, improper brackets, okay. So these are all comes under the syntax errors, okay. So and also this will be known at the time of translation only. I can say that while you are typing the code only you can understand the Python, if you go for Python, and other codes while translating the compiler or the interpreter. If you go for Python, we are using interpreter, right? Because it's an interpreter based language. So it won't wait till the execution, okay. While it is interpreting from high level to low level itself, it will raise these errors because assume that you given wrong keyword. Like example, instead of for, you given some wrong spelling, FAR you given. So while translating that FAR into the binary format or understandable format, the interpreter first of all does not understand what is for you written. So that means it is not understanding, means it will throw an error. For is undefined keyword, okay. So that is what we call syntax errors, and that means these are raised, or these are I mean that observed at the time of translation only. It won't wait for execution till the execution, okay. So basically syntax errors, okay, are occurred at the time of translation only, okay. Why I'm using translation means is a common word. If some programming language we use compilation, some programming may use interpreters, but the common word is translation. So in Python, if you specially speaks about, we can call it as a interpretation. So whenever the interpreter converting your high level to low level code, at that time only these errors will be identified, okay. And the last point, with syntax errors we can't run the any program. So if you have any kind of syntax errors, you have to resolve or fix them, then only you can go for execution. Otherwise you can't execute the program until unless you clear that particular errors, okay. So we should fix them, okay, we should fix them to continue the execution. So otherwise we can't continue, we can't proceed further, okay. So that is the basic limitation, or I can say that what you call it's a, I can say that a kind of lock situation, or it's a blocker, I can say that. So if you're not able to fixing the syntax errors, you're not able to proceeding for execution. So you have to be clear with to resolve the syntax errors. That means that is what technically we call error free program. If you have the errors in the program, definitely we won't get any output in the program, okay. So this is what about syntax errors now, okay. So this is also a category of errors only, okay. Errors are two types basically. One is syntax errors, another one is logical errors, okay. So logical errors means basically these are coming, I mean that these are observing, or these errors are uh, occurred. Okay, I mean to say, you can observe at the time of execution. Okay, it's not for translation. Translation, these errors won't be shown. So at the time of execution you may observe these kind of errors. Okay, so what kind of errors we may get? Like mostly input mismatch. Okay, input and what we expected if customer not giving such types, and also object creation errors, may be object related. Okay, and also sometimes like logic errors. Sometimes the logic what we written, it leads to maybe infinity times, and it leads to the wrong calculations. Such kind of such times also will go for logical errors. Okay, and the last, as I mentioned, syntax errors, we have to fix them to continue, right? But logical errors, we can skip them. Okay, we can skip these errors. So that is advantage of logical errors. So that means even though we have logical errors in the program, though we can execute the program, but some cases will be failed, some cases will be passed. So if you handle the logical errors, all cases will be passed. But if you are not properly handle the logical errors, then some of the cases will be skip out. I mean to say, it won't be passed. Some of them will execute. So that is what the meant for logical errors. It does not stop entire program. It will stop some portion of the program, and remaining program will execute as is. So that is the one advantage of logical errors. Okay. So these logical errors only we technically called as runtime errors. Okay, runtime errors or exceptions. Okay, so these are also called as exceptions. So logical errors నే మనం ఇంకో పేరు ఏం పిలుస్తామంటే exceptions అంటాం. We called it as exceptions in real time. Okay, so syntax errors is technically also called as errors only. So if you someone say error in the program, that indicates syntax error. If someone called exception, you can, that means it's a logical errors or runtime errors. Okay, and now the point is, as I mentioned, syntax errors we have to fix. There is no other option. There is no other alternative also. But logical errors, as I mentioned, we can skip, we can ignore them. So, but the point, as I mentioned, we can't run the code, but we can skip that code and we can continue the remaining code as is. Okay, so that process, whatever I said, we can skip, right? So the mechanism of how we will handle these exceptions is known as exception handling. Okay, so exception handling means it is a process of, okay, it's a process of handling the runtime errors. Got it? So it's a process of handling the runtime errors. So what are the runtime errors we are getting while we are executing the program? So that runtime errors we can ignore and we can continue remaining execution. So that process only we call exception handling in any programming language. Okay, it is very important topic in every programming language, and in your real time when you go for tester, developer or designer, whatever it is. Okay, without exception handling. Yeah, so the process of skipping the errors only we call exception handling. Okay, so for that only we will use a approach called try except blocks. Okay, try except blocks. So these blocks will help us to handle the errors, and in real time if you write a small 5 lines or 10 lines of code also, we will generally use this exception handling in real time, because to eliminate the uninterrupted program execution, and also to eliminate the unwanted breaking in between the program. So that's why all program experts suggesting that you should write always try except blocks for entire logic of the application. Okay, so this is what the uh, concept exception handling and why it is required, and how it will be implemented now we will see. But why it is required and what is the reason exception handling came into the picture, so before the story, that is what I explained as of now. So is it clear or any doubt? Please tell me.
Okay, sir, clear.
Okay, great. So finally conclusion ఏంటి? We have two types of errors. Syntax errors, logical errors. Logical errors only called as exceptions. Syntax errors, yes, we cannot skip. We have to correct it and write the program proper way. That means you should, while you are writing the program, please take care about brackets, spellings, spaces, that all. And runtime errors, yes, if you're not handling also, program will execute, but it will fail for some of the cases and it will execute for some of the cases. But if you handle properly, it will execute for all the cases. That is the conclusion of exception handling requirement. And now, how we will achieve this exception handling in Python? So we have the try except block. Using that, we can handle the exceptions. But how we will handle, we'll see now. Okay. And here, how the syntax will be means. So the try, first of all, we will write the try block. Okay. And some lines of code, as we know. Otherwise, yeah, I will easily we can show here. Yeah. Okay. So let's take Sinana. This is, we can say, try block. Okay. So here we have some lines. Okay. And after that, we will write except block. Okay. So totally there is a four blocks will be there. Try, except. Then we have block called finally. Okay. There is a block called finally. Okay. And these are all blocks. That's why I'm writing, if you observe that, like I'm writing with colons. Okay. And the last block will be else block. Else is common for everything in the Python, as we know. So it will be there for if and for loop and while loop. For everything else will be common. Okay. Yeah, some lines of code. Yeah, so these are the four blocks commonly used for exception handling. Other than this, nothing will be there in the Python. But Java, we have different options like throws, throw, try, catch, like that. But in Python, they given a straightforward approach, no confusion, no like multiple options. Only we have one option to handle the exception, that is this blocks. Okay, so by using these four blocks only, whenever you required exception handling, we will implement in any program like this. Okay, now how the execution flow will be there, like if else, like see, whatever the code we are writing, that all code will be in the try block. So that means try block will be your main logic. అంటే whatever the program we are going to be writing, మనం ఏదైతే ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాస్తామో ఆ ప్రోగ్రామ్ అనేది ట్రైలో ఉంటుంది, లాజిక్, మెయిన్ లాజిక్. ఓకే, if you are getting runtime error, so how to handle that? What should we do? For example, if there is no error, yes, of course it will execute the logic and it will stop the program, nothing will happen. But if the problem occurred, if any error occurred, then what will happen? So that lines of code we are writing in the except. So this is actual your exception handling. Okay, so here error handling code will be there in the except block. Remember, try is a block where we are writing the main logic. Okay, except is the block where we are writing the handling, error handling. Okay, that means if try executed, except won't be executed, because try execute అయిందంటే ఎర్రర్ లేదని, అప్పుడు except రన్ అవ్వదు. ఒకవేళ ట్రైలో ఫెయిల్ అయితేనే except రన్ అవుద్ది. అది దట్ బ్లాక్ కాన్సెప్ట్. అండ్ ఫైనల్లీ మీనింగ్ ఇట్ విల్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ ఆల్ ద టైమ్, అంటే ఇట్స్ మ్యాండేటరీ బ్లాక్ అంటాం. ఓకే, అంటే ఇది ప్రతిసారి రన్ అవుద్ది. ఇంకా అంటే మీరు ట్రై రన్ అయినప్పుడు రన్ అవుద్ది, ఎక్సెప్ట్ వచ్చినప్పుడు రన్ అవుద్ది. అంటే మీనింగ్ ఏంటి? ఎర్రర్ వచ్చినా రన్ అవుద్ది, ఎర్రర్ రాకపోయినా రన్ అవుద్ది. ఓకే, అంటే ఇది ఎలా అంటే జనరల్గా వెన్ వీ వాంట్ టు close object before execution, close termination, or if you want to do some action mandatorily for every time, then we can go for finally block. Okay, ఎల్స్ అంటే మీకు తెలిసిందే, ఇవేమీ జరగకపోతే ఎల్స్ వెళ్తుంది. ఓకే, ఎల్స్ అంటే ఇట్స్ ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్ లాగా. సో ఒకవేళ ఐ మీన్ టు సే ఎక్సెప్ట్ రన్ కాకపోతే ఎల్స్ రన్ అవుద్ది బేసికలీ. ఓకే, సో మీ కోడ్ ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ ప్రాసెస్ ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే, ట్రై రన్ అయితే చూడండి, ట్రై సక్సెస్ఫుల్గా రన్ అయితే ఫైనల్లీ రన్ అవుద్ది, ఎక్సెప్ట్ రన్ అవ్వదు, ఫైనల్లీ రన్ అవుద్ది, సిమిలర్గా ఎల్స్ రన్ అవుద్ది. ఈ మూడు కలిసి రన్ అవుతాయి. ఓకే, ఒకవేళ ట్రై రన్ అయితే ఫైనల్లీ రన్ అవుద్ది, ఎల్స్ రన్ అవుద్ది. అలా కాకుండా ట్రైలో ప్రాబ్లమ్ వచ్చి ట్రై ఆగిపోయింది అనుకోండి, అప్పుడు ఎక్సెప్ట్ ఫైనల్లీ రన్ అవుతాయి తప్ప ఎల్స్ రన్ అవ్వదు. okay, ఇది flow, ఇది order of execution in the block structure. Okay, so try run అయింది and if try executed it will go for final and then else, except run అయింది it will go for final, it won't go for else part. Okay, and the other thing you require to understand here is ఈ ఫైనల్లీ ఎల్స్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో ఇక్కడ ఫైనల్లీ అండ్ ఎల్స్ బ్లాక్స్ ఈ రెండు ఆప్షనల్, అంటే ఈ పర్టికులర్ బ్లాక్స్ మీరు రాయొచ్చు రాయకపోవచ్చు మీ ఇష్టం, బట్ ట్రై ఎక్సెప్ట్ మాత్రం మ్యాండేటరీ. ఈ ట్రై రాసిన ప్రతిసారి మీరు ఎక్సెప్ట్ రాయాల్సిందే, మిగతా రెండు మీ ఇష్టం, మీరు రాస్తారా రాయరా అది మీ ఇష్టం, బట్ ఇది మాత్రం పక్కా రాయాల్సిందే. ఇది ఆర్కిటెక్చర్, బట్ కోడింగ్లో ఇంకా క్లారిటీగా వస్తుంది. జస్ట్ బిఫోర్ దట్ ఐఎమ్ హైలైటింగ్ ద బ్లాక్స్ వైజ్. ఓకే, సో నౌ we will see the practically what is each meaning of this syntax errors, logic errors. We'll see, you can understand, and హ్యాండిల్ చేయకపోతే ఇష్యూ ఏంటి, హ్యాండిల్ చేస్తే అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఏంటి అనేది మీరు ఒక ప్రోగ్రామ్ చూస్తే యువర్ బ్రెయిన్ విల్ బి మోర్ clarified that all questions. Okay, so for that I'm just creating one program. Okay, so I want to do the division of two numbers, Nana. Okay, what I want to do, division of two numbers. Okay, so here I want to read two numbers first of all, as we know. So I want to division means at least two numbers should be required. So a equal to int of input of, or you can take float also, it doesn't make sense, float also you can take, no problem. Okay, float of input of enter value. Okay, and here b is equal to float of input of, okay, enter value. And now division means మీకు తెలిసింది ఆల్రెడీ, c equal to a by
Sir, float, sir.
a by b. Okay, and finally I want to print c division value, print c value print చేస్తున్నాను, and after that I just want to print program
Float.
completed. Okay, now you see Nana, సో మీరు ఇప్పుడు ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్ మీరు అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే కొన్ని రెడ్ మార్క్స్ కనిపిస్తున్నాయి చూడండి మీకు. ఓకే, సో దట్ రెడ్ మార్క్స్ ఓన్లీ వీ కాల్ సింటాక్స్ ఎర్రర్స్. సో ఇవి మీరు చూడండి టైప్ చేసినప్పుడే చూపించేస్తుంది, అంటే ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ఇది రన్ చేసిన ఎర్రర్ వస్తుంది, దెర్ ఇస్ నో డౌట్ ఎట్ ఆల్, ఎందుకంటే ఆల్రెడీ ఎర్రర్స్ ఉన్నాయని మీకు తెలుసు. సో అందుకని ముందుకు వెళ్ళారు, ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయలేరు ఆబ్వియస్లీ, రైట్, ఎర్రర్స్ వచ్చాయి. బట్ ఏం ఎర్రర్ ఉంది అని చూడాలంటే ఇక్కడ చూసుకోవచ్చు, బ్రాకెట్ ప్రాపర్గా క్లోజ్ చేయలేదని చూపిస్తున్నాడు ఇక్కడ. ఓకే, సో బట్ మీకు తెలుస్తుంది ఇక్కడ రెడ్ మార్క్స్ ఎక్కడైతే అక్కడ చూపిస్తుందో అక్కడ మిస్టేక్స్ ఉన్నాయని మీకు తెలుసు, రైట్. సో దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ ఇట్ మీన్ బై సింటాక్స్ ఎర్రర్స్ ఆర్ టైపింగ్ ఎర్రర్స్, మనం వల్ల వచ్చాయి మిస్టేక్స్. సో అందువల్ల ఈ ఎర్రర్స్ని మనం రెక్టిఫై చేయలేమంటే ఆటోమేటిక్గా స్కిప్ చేసి రన్ చేసుకోవాలంటే చేయలేదు, ఎందుకంటే అది ప్యూర్లీ బ్లెండర్స్ అనమాట. సో వీటిని మనమే రెక్టిఫై చేయాలి. సో ఫస్ట్ది హ్యాండిల్ చేశాను. సో ఇప్పుడు చూడండి ఫస్ట్ లైన్లో ఎర్రర్ పోయింది, మళ్ళీ రన్ చేయండి, రన్ చేస్తే చూపిస్తుంది. సో ఏం చూపిస్తుంది చూడండి ఇక్కడ, ఇన్వాలిడ్ సింటెక్స్ పెర్హాప్స్ యూ ఫర్గెట్ ఏ కామా. సో ఇక్కడ చూడండి ఎంటర్ వాల్యూ డబుల్ కోట్స్ ఇవ్వాలి, మనం ఇవ్వలేదు. సో అందుకని అది ఏమవుతుంది, డబుల్ కోట్స్ ఇవ్వండి బాబు స్ట్రింగ్ కాబట్టి అని చెప్తున్నాడు. అండ్ నౌ అక్కడ ఫ్లోట్లో చూడండి ఏ అనేది మిస్ అయింది, సో దట్ విల్ ఆల్సో విల్ గివ్ యూ దట్. సో ఫస్ట్ లైన్ చూడండి, ఇక్కడ మీరు అబ్జర్వ్ చేశారా ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఇది ఉన్నా ఇక్కడ రన్ అయింది చూడండి, ఎందుకంటే ఇది ఇంటర్ప్రిటర్ బేస్డ్, ఇదే కంపైలర్కి ఇంటర్ప్రిటర్కి డిఫరెన్స్. ఓకే, కంపైలర్ ఏంటంటే ఇందులో 5 లైన్స్ ఉంటే 5 లైన్స్లో ఎన్ని ఎర్రర్స్ ఉంటే అన్నీ ఒకేసారి చూపిస్తుంది, బట్ ఇంటర్ప్రిటర్ అలా కాదు, ఇంటర్ప్రిటర్ లైన్ బై లైన్ ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్, అంటే ఫస్ట్ లైన్లో పాస్ అయిపోయింది కాబట్టి ఫస్ట్ లైన్ పాస్ చేసేస్తుంది. ఇప్పుడు సెకండ్ లైన్ ఇష్యూ ఉంది కాబట్టి సెకండ్ లైన్ ఎర్రర్ వస్తుంది చూడండి, ఫ్లోట్ నాట్ డిఫైన్డ్ అని. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద ప్యూర్లీ డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ ఇంటర్ప్రిటర్ అండ్ కంపైలర్. ఓకే, సో FLO80 నౌ. ఓకే, సిమిలర్లీ ఇక్కడ నేను సింగిల్ ఈక్వల్ వాడాల్సిన డబుల్ ఈక్వల్ వాడా, అందుకని అది తీసుకోవట్లేదు వేరియబుల్గా. చూడండి ఇప్పుడు నౌ సీ దట్ ఆల్ ఎర్రర్స్ గాన్. నౌ యూ కెన్ ట్రై టు రన్ ద ప్రోగ్రామ్. Now I'm giving 5 and I'm giving 2. So 5 by 2 anta 2.5 and the program complete vachindi. So now just imagine that this program syntactically correct and executed perfectly. So does anyone have any doubt as of now?
No, sir.
Everyone clear till
No,
the
sir.
point?
Yes, sir.
Hemant clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now the point is, see, as I mentioned, this program syntactically looks good and it is executed as shown on the execution, but now we'll try to run with different inputs, you see. Now I'm giving 5 with 0 I'm giving. Okay, now you see it does not have any syntactical errors, but though you are getting one error, that is float division by 0. That means right, we can't divide by 0 because that is infinity value, right? So we are getting an error called 0 division error. So this is one of the example of runtime error. That means it is not our mistake, it is not our actual typing mistake, it is logical mistake because the division does not support 0. That's why in whenever you read a by b in textbooks, they immediately given the comment called b should not be equal to 0. This is the condition. So if b equal to 0, we can't perform the division. B always should not be 0. Okay, so that means here that condition missed out, that handling of that condition, that is what we missed in this logic. So we missed the handling of the respect to 0 division. So that's why there is a problem called what do you call 0 division error, logical error. But though it does not stop your execution. For example, if you give the proper input, like example I'm giving some other 8 comma 6, yes, it will execute, there's no issues. But it is failing for some cases. What is the case? One of the case we observed, if b given as a 0, then this program is failing. Okay, and similarly, what is the value we are expecting? Enter the value. What type of value is expecting? Float value, right? But customer by mistake he given some character, I given b. Okay, so can we convert b as a float? Is it possible? Hello, can we convert b as a float? I'm asking.
Yes, sir, possible typecasting.
No, right. See, float can convert integer to float. It cannot convert the character to float. For example, if I'm giving b, what is the value, equivalent value, float value to the b? No, right? It does not have any value. It's a text. So it will show an error. See that. Could not convert string to float. See that. The error, the clearly it's mentioning error also. So could not convert string because a number can convert float, a float can convert int, but you cannot convert string to int. Okay, so similarly string to float, that's why it's showing an error, value error. Okay, this is also runtime error because until unless we giving the input as b, it does not show such kind of error. If you're giving a normal number, yes, it will work out, but if you're giving as a text, this kind of errors are coming. So these sort of errors only technically called as exceptions. What we call exceptions. So because these exceptions we can't predict at the time of typing, it will come all the time at the time of execution only. Did you understand what is the difference between error and exception? Hello, error ki exception ki difference అర్థమైందా అందరికి? Okay, great. So now to overcome this problem. So anyway, sir, if I'm getting the error such kind of errors, what is the problem? That means there is a problem. See, because of the problem in the line number 3, we are unable to executing line number 5 program because it doesn't have any problem in the statement, though it is stopping. See that after this, because once we our program terminated, definitely whatever the code after that line, it won't be executed. So line number 4 and line number 5 will be skipped out and the program terminated. So that is the drawback of the logical errors. So that's why we should handle them properly. So like how, sir, as I mentioned, so see, I will show you a difference of that with using the exception handling. Now I'm putting this entire code in try. Okay, what is that? Till the print C, because this is the division code. Okay, so put them into try, and now except, as I mentioned, except sorry, except exception. Okay, exception accept చేయమంటున్నాను. Okay, colon, and now print. Okay, invalid input I'm giving. Okay, so now you see I'm running the same program. Okay, now you see I'm giving 5 and 3, there is no issue, right? So now you see you got the output called 1.66 and the program completed. Okay, now I'm giving the wrong input. Let's take example 5 0 I'm giving. Now you see, it doesn't break the program. It is showing you give an invalid input and program also completed. See that? So it does not stop your code. It does not break your execution. So that is the beauty of the try except. And now similarly we have other blocks also mentioned, right? So that also will show you. Finally, just for your understanding, I'm writing the print statements only. Print hello, and similarly we have else block also I mentioned. Print, let's take else block. We can write same thing only, that's better. And here hello block. What happened? Okay, I think the order of else be given wrong. 1 second. Yes, the order of the else I explained wrongly, Nana. So generally else should be after before the finally block. Okay, so that's why it's showing error initially. Sorry. So try except to else then finally block. Okay. Yeah. So now I'm running, see that. Now I'm giving the right inputs for that logic. Let's take 5 I'm giving and 6 I'm giving. So now you see you're getting 0.833, else block came and hello block claim. Is it clear? And program complete. That means see, till this program executed and invalid is skipping, it is not getting, else came, see that, and hello block came. That means you are executing it is executed finally, try, else. These three blocks are executed. Now I will give the error. Okay, so let's take I'm giving some n as a value. Now you see invalid input. Okay, that means you got this except block. So as I mentioned, once except came, else doesn't execute. So that's why else does not printed here. Directly it go for finally block, that is hello block, and after that it is going for program completed. But in both the cases, it's not terminating the program, it's still executing. After this, how many lines? Yes, it will execute, doesn't stop your program. But if you are not written the try except, definitely it will stop your program. It won't go for next program execution. So till the point, any doubts? So ఇక్కడ straight away one word I can tell you, as I mentioned already, these two are optional. Leave it this one. Okay, so simple. Now what we have to do is whatever the logic you are writing in real time, put into try block. Very simple. End of the program, I mean to say, after the logic implementation completed, just write except exception and followed by invalid input. Or if you want to see that actual error what it is, so you can even as e, you can mention that also. As e means exception will cut, and you can print that also here, comma str of e, because e is an object, we are converting into str. Okay, so now you see even that invalid input will followed by actual error also will show. See that invalid input could not convert string to float. See that the error message also coming here. So likewise, if you want to print that also, that is only thing you require to understand. So two things here. One is మీరు రాసిన లాజిక్ మొత్తాన్ని ట్రైలో పెట్టాలి. సెకండ్, whatever the statement you want to print behalf of ఎర్రర్కి బదులు మీరు ఏమైతే డిస్ప్లే చేయాలనుకుంటున్నారో ఆ మెసేజ్ ఎక్సెప్ట్లో పెట్టాలి. దట్స్ ఇట్ నాన్న, అదొకటి గుర్తుపెట్టుకొని చాలు. మిగతాదంతా జస్ట్ ఫర్ యువర్ అండర్స్టాండ్ ట్రైంగ్ టు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్, బట్ దిస్ ఇస్ ద హై లెవెల్ కోడ్ స్ట్రక్చర్ ఫర్ రైటింగ్ ద try except blocks. So if you have any doubts, tell me, otherwise I will go for another example. If you want spend some time to understand that, I will go with next, so because you can better understand it.
Okay, sir.
And here remember, as I mentioned, so else will be coming this part. Okay, so ఏదైతే ఈ పార్ట్ ఉందో ఈ పార్ట్ అనేది ఇక్కడ వస్తుంది. ఇది ఒకటి నేను రాంగ్ అటు అయింది. ఎక్సెప్ట్ అయితే ఎల్స్ వస్తుంది మనకి. ఓకే, అండ్ అలానే ఒకసారి ఈ థియరీ చదువుకోండి ఒకసారి. ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నా, మీకు ఏదైనా పాయింట్ అర్థం కాకపోయినా నన్ను అడగండి. ఐ విల్ రీ-ఎక్స్‌ప్లెయిన్. అదర్‌వైజ్ ఐ విల్ గో ఫర్ నెక్స్ట్ ప్రోగ్రామ్. Clear then everybody? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
yes, sir. Sir, we are writing. Just a minute. I'm writing.
Okay, carry on. So here you will write syntax also. So try colon and then some lines, okay. And after that, as I mentioned, except some lines we have. And after that, else. So this is the syntax for blocking. You can write this also. And after that, we have finally, okay. So finally, yeah. But it's very important topic, Nana.
Sir, could you please show the code now? Sir, hello. Hello, sir. Hello. Am I audible, sir?
హలో, నాది రాయడం అయిపోయిందా?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then you can you write this program then?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you write this program, then I will go for next program. Is it done? Mhm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so just if you want to like re-repeat an example, you got invalid input, right? Now you want to try again, assume that. So in that case, we can use loops also here, okay? Like for example, while, see, I'm writing true, okay? So now put this entire code into within this particular while loop, okay? Now what happened? It will keep on ask that particular logic, okay? First try, see that. So if I'm giving like 5 and 2, it is executed, enter the value coming. And if I'm giving 8, 0, so though it is a invalid input, and again asking, see that, keep on asking. So now again, let's take, if I'm getting the error, then it has to repeat. If I'm getting right answer, then it should not repeat. Then what we have to do, in the try block, you should give the break, okay? So now you see what happened, just to make it executed like that, we can control the logic also. So like example, if I'm giving 5 0, now we got error, right? So now it is asking enter a value. Now let's take, I'm giving right inputs, you are getting the output, right? So program completed. So likewise also we can try for that, like ATM pin, like that, right? So if you're getting error, it will ask one more time. If you're not getting any error, it doesn't ask that one more time. So likewise we can even control the code also, okay? So likewise we have different mechanisms to continue the execution and to given the input option to the customer. And even you can give number of times, like example, you want to give the 3 times only for wrong input, like example, forgot password example. Say sometimes what happen, if you keep on giving the wrong password, it will give you one or twice or thrice, and after that it is redirecting to the reset password, okay? So likewise even we can control through using this try-x blocks only by you giving one limit variable, okay? So that will cover in the next class. So I will take one more class on this exception handling, okay, with some more examples, and by that we can conclude this topic, okay? So that will take mostly physically in the next in the classroom maybe, otherwise on first, like 1st January I will take class, that by that we can conclude, okay? But it requires one more class where we can do that. Yeah, sure, Nana. Okay, is it any doubt from this, till the point, any doubt?
No, sir.
No,
బ్రేక్
sir.
యూజ్ చేస్తే
ఏనన్నా ఎవరు అంటున్నారు?
బ్రేక్ యూజ్ చేస్తే ఎంటైర్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ మొత్తం ఆగిపోద్దని చెప్పారు కదా సార్.
అవును.
మరి అక్కడ నుంచి అంటే ఇప్పుడు మీరు తీసుకున్నది ఎంటర్ వాల్యూ 5 అండ్ ఎంటర్ వాల్యూ 3 అనేది ఆప్షనల్ గా దాంట్లో బ్రేక్ యూజ్ చేసి
బ్రేక్ చెప్పా కదా, మీరు కన్ఫ్యూజ్ అయ్యారు చూడండి. బ్రేక్, రిటర్న్ రెండు ఉన్నాయి మనకి. రిటర్న్ ఎంటైర్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఆపుతుంది, బ్రేక్ లూప్ మాత్రం ఆపుతుంది అని చెప్పాను. బ్రేక్ విల్ ఓన్లీ టెర్మినేట్ ద లూప్. సో వైల్ లూప్ ఎక్కడి నుంచి ఎక్కడికి ఉంది, ఇక్కడ వరకే ఉంది చూడండి. ఈ కోడ్ మాత్రమే వైల్లో ఉంది, ఇది బయట ఉంది, అవుట్ సైడ్ ఉంది. సో ఈ బ్రేక్ ఏం చేస్తుంది, ఈ కోడ్ని ఆపేసి బయటకు వచ్చేస్తుంది. అందుకే మీకు చూడండి వాల్యూ ప్రింట్ అనేది ప్రోగ్రామ్కి వచ్చింది డైరెక్ట్గా. సో దీని తర్వాత ఏ లైన్స్ అవి రన్ అవుతాయి, ఓన్లీ లూప్ మాత్రం ఆగిపోద్ది, బ్రేక్ అంటే ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఆగదు.
ఓకే సార్.
యా, ఇస్ ఇట్ డన్? స్టిల్ ఎనీ మోర్ డౌట్స్? సో నిన్నటి రికార్డింగ్, ఈ రోజు రికార్డింగ్, ఈ రెండు ఇప్పుడు క్లాస్ అయిన తర్వాత షేర్ చేస్తాను. యూ కెన్ గో త్రూ దట్ ఆల్సో. ఓకే, బాయ్.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Bye.
ఓకే, ఎనీవే హ్యాపీ న్యూ ఇయర్, ఎంజాయ్ ద వీకెండ్.
Happy New Year, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Advance.
Sir,
Same to
today
you,
we
sir.
don't have an automation class.
Yes, I will ping, like mostly by 11:30 I will take it, okay?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Yeah.
Okay,
No
sir.
automation class also. Yes.
Happy New Year, sir.
Thank you.